And we're live. Hello, all, and welcome. And I am the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Philosopher Show. So, how y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. I'm doing okay. Just finished watching one of those hauntings tapes, that paranormal, supernatural mumbo jumbo bullshit. It's some funny stuff. I don't know why, but the last few days I've been watching a bunch of these videos. They popped up in my recommended section. I really don't know why, because that stuff doesn't interest me that much, but it's a nice change of pace. So I watched a few of these supposed hauntings videos. A bunch of crap. It's total nonsense. Get fucking cabinets opening up, closing. People are like, oh. And they just conveniently have a camera going when this happens. Yeah, like the ghosts are on call, right? Hey, ghost number 2. I'm ghost number 1. He's got a camera going. Let's go open some fucking cabinets and throw some shit around. Ooh, what the fuck? How stupid are people to buy this shit? And you got the commentator always, right? Somebody who's on YouTube or whatever and is going around searching the internet, finding these videos, defending how difficult it would be to pull this off. There could be a string, but the cabinet is opening and closing. Ooh. Yeah, because, there's no way you could fool that, right? You couldn't have another string on the other side, right? Or a pulley it from another area. You couldn't have a string going from the same direction, right? Drill a little hole or something. Yeah, it's real hard to fake that, right? Having it appear that a cabinet is opening and closing all by itself. Yeah, that's movie magic right there. You got to be still Steven Spielberg or something like that to pull that off, huh? So stupid. I was watching this, and it was cycling through all these ridiculous so-called hauntings, right? And no way it's real. Right? It's all fake. And I had this one video where this girl supposedly is haunting an elevator. Say what? What the fuck? These are some fucking boring-ass ghosts. Man, what kind of ghost haunts a fucking elevator? Isn't an elevator like the most boring fucking place you could possibly be? Why? Why would you be haunting an elevator? What's the payoff there, huh? I know, granted, somebody sometimes gets it on with somebody else. Sometimes there's freaky shit in an elevator, but isn't what's happening mostly in an elevator is like nothing? Right? It's like nobody in a fucking elevator the majority of the time. Isn't that the case? It's like the most of the time the elevator just sits there. I mean, ghosts must have really, really, really active imaginations, right? Well, this is the most boring fucking place on earth, but I can always retreat into my imagination. Yeah, the spank bank, but I can no longer spank because I don't have a cock. Maybe I can jerk off my spectral dick. Or, I can get off on memories of shit I did in my prior life, my real life. Why would you hang around on earth to fucking hang out in an elevator? I can think of better places. How about the Pentagon? You could be like Casper the fucking Ghost or Superman. I mean, you're ephemeral, right? You could fly around, can't you? You go fly over the fucking pond to America, check out what's happening in the Pentagon. Seems like a pretty good way to pass your time if you're ephemeral, if you have no body, you're just mist. You can pass through solid fucking buildings and shit. I mean, that's a pretty boring life, I would think. Unless you can hang out and party with other ghosts and shit. Maybe they can, I don't know. Maybe they exist in another dimension right beside ours, and sometimes they can interact with ours, but the majority of the time they're just, existing. Ooh, yes, like pages on a page touching each other. They're so close, but they're not the same thing. I don't know. I would hang out in a movie theater. If I was a fucking ghost, get free movies. Go fly to the movie theater. You sit inside somebody, fat guy, possess him while the movie's going on. Buy like 10 bags of popcorn. You can get the experience of eating again. It's a pretty good way to pass your time if you're a ghost. What else are you going to do? Go watch a Spider-Man movie. Go watch The Avengers or some shit. I mean, I would think it'd be better than hanging out in a fucking elevator, right? It's so stupid. I'm supposed to believe that some girl hangs out in an elevator and they had this picture or this video of somebody getting in it. It appears that there's a woman, a girl watching her behind her. I'm looking at it and I don't see anything. I guess the majority of mouth breathers out there are susceptible to the power of suggestion. So, if this This commentator says, look, there's a girl. You're looking real close. I think I might see a girl. Yeah, come on. Bullshit. It's all fake. All fake. Why is it that the only people who see these fucking ghosts, it's like this very rare few select people? I've never seen one. It's because they're not real. Oh, you have to believe to see. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient? It's like if I don't believe, I'm not going to see anything. Wow. Okay. Again, that's kind of like a form of a self-hypnosis, right? I believe it, and then I see something, and I think that's a ghost. It's a puff of smoke. It's some fog. It's a fucking cat in a tree. Too far away, you just see the eyes, and you're like, oh, it's a demon! You know, all these people claiming to be seeing demons and shit. Look at this 7-foot tall black spot in this photo I took. What do you think that is? It's a demon. You put your thumb on the lens, and you didn't know it. I don't know. It's a black spot. What are you automatically assuming it's some kind of ghost or demon for? It's just, it's so silly. But I've been watching them anyway. It's entertaining, you know. Trying to figure out how they're doing these, tricks. Not too hard. It's not too hard to figure out. I remember I saw this one video footage. Some broad was in a hotel room, and a door opens, and she slowly turns, right? And acts surprised. Slowly turns, not quickly. Now, if I'm in a room, and I'm in my home, and doors start opening and closing, I'm going to be like, whoosh! I'm going to turn so fast, you'll think I'm the Flash. This woman, she slowly turns and pans the camera she's holding. It's very interesting how these things always happen when a camera's running. And she sees an open door. Now she goes over, closes the door, then she hears another sound. She slowly turns, and I know somebody's behind her as she's turning. And there's another open door that wasn't open before. Ooh, how interesting that the camera was pointed away from that other door, and you couldn't see the door itself open. Then she goes over there, and all her shit is rummaged through, and it's all over the floor, where before it had been neatly stacked and neatly arranged inside her bag. And then everything she's doing is slowly turning, or she's walking backwards. And so it was pretty obvious to me that there was just somebody standing behind her. And when she turned one way, they went the other way and did some shit, and then made some noise, and then snuck back behind her, and then she slowly turned, and, oh, that wasn't like that before. Yeah, the person hiding behind you did it. Your boyfriend who's behind you did it. You want to get a viral video on YouTube, that's all you want. So it's just all bullshit. These people that believe this shit, it's total nonsense. But it's amusing. It's a laugh riot to watch these videos, and these people freak out, and, they're trying to be good actors and everything. And it's like, hello, if you were a good actor, you'd be working as an actor. We can see you're faking your terror. And that this shit's moving around because of some strings that you arranged, some fishing line. That's pathetic. Amazing how gullible people are. And these videos have tons of views. I'm viewing it too, but just for fucking entertainment purposes. I think it's hilarious. But a lot of people believe in this shit. Ah, well. Anyway, so today's show is going to be crazy shit. Crazy shit. I love these videos. So once a week now, I've started doing a crazy shit video where essentially I talk about the nuttiest crazy news stories I can find, right? Like 8, 9, and 10 on the craziness scale. Now, in my view, the majority of news stories and stuff going on in society that I see today, it's crazy shit. It's all crazy. There's just a meter. From 1 being the least crazy to 10, the most fucking crazy. And most of the stories are somewhere in the middle on average. But when I try to throw in the shit that's like 8, 9, 10 level crazy with the shit that's like 3, 4, 5 level, it doesn't work. It's like, yeah, they don't go together very well. So it makes sense to me, and it makes sense now, I see, to essentially reserve the most crazy videos, the most crazy stories for their own video. So once a week now, I'm doing that. I'm putting aside the nuttiest, craziest shit once a week, whenever I feel like doing it. Not a specific day. But anyway, let's begin, shall we? Now, this is so crazy. Now, maybe to some of you, this stuff doesn't seem crazy because you are inundated by this nonsense. You live in the West. I haven't lived in the West for like 13 years, so, I haven't essentially been desensitized to the new normal and the higher levels of degeneracy that now exist in the West. So maybe my craziness meter, maybe my tolerance for that which is nutty and crazy and wackadoo is lower. Maybe you have a higher tolerance. But anyway, I think this is nutty. Level 8, 9, 10, crazy. All right, listen to this. Africans accuse black Americans of cultural appropriation. It's crazy. I think that's nutty shit, man. Nutty shit. You're black. I'm black too. But you're appropriating my culture, fellow black man. What? What are you talking about? Oh my God. You always hear on the left talk about this cultural appropriation. You're not the Chinese race. You can't wear that silk dress that's traditionally for Chinese occasions of a very particular type. Well, now they're getting even nuttier. Now it's not enough to be that specific race. Now it doesn't matter if you're that race, because if you've been living in a different country and you're not a citizen. I wasn't aware, by the way, that culture has no boundaries, right? Knows no borders. Yeah. It's funny to see the left acknowledge that that's not actually the case, as they embrace multiple culturalism, multicultural. Yeah. Uh-huh. It's interesting how they want multiculturalism, but they don't want multiculturalism. You're appropriating my culture. Wait a second. Isn't that what you want with this multiculturalism? No, we just want to bring people in who have cultures that are diametrically opposed so we can create lots of tension and create lots of divisiveness and tear the country apart. Oh, okay. A group of Kenyan men have told black Americans to stop appropriating black African culture after a series of high-profile black film and videos being released by the movie and music industries. It's so bizarre. So bizarre. The criticism is believed to be a response to songs like This Is America by Childish Gambino. Isn't he that Fruit Loop that made that video where, you know, he's essentially blowing white people away, he hates white people? Isn't he that douchebag that was in that fucking Solo movie with that horrible, horrible guy playing Han Solo? What a crappy movie. What a piece of garbage. Oh, boy. Yeah, they have no problem appropriating white culture, though. Hey, those are white man clothes. Hey, that's a white man haircut. Hey, that's a white man's tie. All that came from the Western world. You got no problem appropriating our culture. Well, white people, they don't have the culture, you see, so we can take their shit. Well, how can it be theirs if they don't have a culture? Oh, oh, you're seeing the inconsistencies in my logic and my belief system. You're a racist. All right, so, yeah. And the movie Black Panther, both having strong African influences. I thought Black Panther was good. Didn't black people, weren't they running around for like 6 months after that talking about how white people destroyed Africa? And if white man had never come to Africa, this is what Africa would look like. Yeah, there'd be spaceships and people flying around and force shields. Yeah, you'd be the most technological. Oh, sure. Yeah. Let's ignore history. Yeah, black people would be the most technologically advanced people on the planet if it wasn't for whitey. Yeah. Did you recall? Why don't you go look up some history, okay? And look at where blacks were in Africa, technologically speaking, when the first whites went to and visited those countries. And you'll see the huge gaping fucking chasm, which is, by the way, why whites were able to colonize those countries in the first place. Oh, black people, they'd be living in Wakanda now. Yeah, if that was true, they would have been more technologically advanced than whitey, who colonized them, and they would have been able to fight him off and genocide his ass. Give me a fucking break. Oh, boy. So, Wosen Kusan, who lives in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, said he was tired of black Americans appropriating his culture. But they're from the same place you are. Their ancestors are anyway. And assuming they don't have any white DNA, they're African too, right? African Americans, they always say, right? Oh, it's not their culture anymore? Really? Okay. And acting like they know what it means to be African. You mean poor? You mean poor? Telling themselves that there's no opportunities, blaming whitey? Wait a second! Black Africans living in Africa, they do that too. Seems like you both have the same culture to me, minus the little affectations, the little fucking voodoo dolls and the clothes and the big head wraps and shit, but your worldview seems the same. Childish Gambino is about as African as Prince Harry. But for some reason, he thinks he can go around making Zulu noises in his music videos. They've become too white is what he's saying, essentially. These black people, they claim to be African, but they've spent too much time around whitey. They've been corrupted. I don't think they've been all that much influence from whitey, okay? They seem to be doing about as well as you. Unfortunately, in Africa, you don't have a lot of strong, intelligent, productive whiteys to create a nice welfare system that you can leech off of. Oh, too bad for you. You reckon he could find Nigeria on a map? Just because they have the same color skin doesn't mean they're allowed to steal our culture. What about multiculturalism? What about enrichment? Don't you want to bring people together? I mean, that's eventually the goal. Total lack of diversity, right? Throw everybody into a big soup bowl. Mix them all together. Crush them up into a goo that's all the same color. And then everybody's the same. Mr. Kusin also said that this is great. Americans singing and portraying people from Africa was just as bad as white folks dressing up in blackface. Really? I'll be honest, I don't have a problem with that. Isn't that kind of a compliment? What's wrong with white people putting on blackface? I thought that if you were essentially mimicking others, that was the highest form of compliment. I like your race, your culture so much, I'm pretending to be like you. No? See, this is the problem with a lot of black people. They see the glass as half empty. They don't choose to see the positive in things, or to cast them in a positive light, or to see them in a positive light, or to just not give a fuck. What the fuck do I care? You want to put blackface on your face? Go right ahead. You want to dress up as Casper the fucking Ghost and put on whiteface as Jussie Smollett claims that his attackers did? Oh, those two Nigerian brothers, I have no idea why they would have wanted to attack me. No idea why they would try to pretend to be white men in whiteface. Yeah, they must have worn whiteface. That's why I saw white skin around the eyes, yeah. But I don't have any idea why. And the $3,500 check I gave them, oh, that was for personal training. Yeah. All those text messages arranging the meeting outside before they attacked me? Oh, that's a bug in my phone. Yeah, all right, buddy. Oh, boy. I watched Black Panther, and all I saw was a bunch of black Americans in African face. African face? What the hell is that? I guess he's talking about the little tribal paint that they put on their faces. It's hilarious. You damn Indians that have never lived on an Indian reservation in your life, you're pure Indian blood, but goddamn you got suckered by whitey. You adopted his culture, you adopted his ways, and now you want to put feathers in your hair and dance around with us and pretend to be Indians? How dare you? It's the same thing. This is so stupid. So stupid. They couldn't, it is great. I love it. African face is very offensive to our people. Well, to you, obviously. You're a snowflake. They couldn't even get real Africans for the parts. They had to dress up black Hollywood actors and pass them off as Africans. Well, yeah. You know, the people that can actually play makeup, play dress up, and make believe, and do it really well, there's not that many. There's a lot of them in Congress. A lot of them in government, but insofar as people that can, really pull it off, good actors, there's not that many. Not that many. So, yeah, they had to dress up a bunch of Hollywood actors and portray them as black Africans. I mean, they're black, right? But they're not Africans. Oy vey. They had to dress up black Hollywood actors. It's very offensive. And now I listen to Childish Gambino, and he's got black Americans singing like us Africans. Isn't that a good thing? I mean, wouldn't you want that? You don't want that? I don't understand. What's the problem here? Oh, wait, you want to protect your identity? You want to have an identity? You want to have a unique identity, and you don't want other people taking it and diluting your identity? Well, what about white people? They don't need an identity. Childish Gambino hit back at the claim, saying that although it was true he'd never been to Africa or even met an African, that doesn't mean he's not allowed to steal elements of their culture. I don't think he used the word steal, okay? I think that's the so-called progressive, actual regressive retard that wrote this. Ha ha, only white people can be accused of appropriation like that, said Childish Gambino. The special pleading argument. It's a logical fallacy. Of course, it's not true. That's the problem with these leftists. They eventually eat their own. Yeah, you can be accused and guilty of the exact same shit that you were accusing Whitey of. Well, not in their minds, right? Because they really can't think, and their ideology says otherwise. Anyway, that's kooky. That's kooky. Blackface? African face. Sorry, African face. I don't know what African face is. I've never heard that term before. That's a real thing. So African face is when they put on the voodoo tribal makeup shit, like in that movie. No, I didn't. The Black Panther didn't interest me. It was clearly just virtue signaling. I didn't have any interest in that movie. But I did see the first Avengers movie. I've seen both, and where they were in Wakanda with the big force shield. Yeah, I'm sure that would have come about, black people, if Whitey hadn't invaded your territories. You were using stone weapons, flint, obsidian, right? Weapons, but and the Whitey, he had steel armor, steel weapons, projectile weapons, right, with steel heads, not obsidian or stone heads that would shatter on steel. But apparently, you were more technologically advanced than him. Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, we black people would be colonizing the galaxy if not for Whitey. Okay. So crazy. African face. Let's move on. Here's another crazy story. They're random stories. There's no theme to this show except crazy. That's the theme, crazy. It runs the spectrum as far as different types of stories goes. All right. Pennsylvania mother, 31, avoids jail after her 11-week-old son died when he drank her breast milk, which was laced with a cocktail of drugs because, get this, she was too tired to make a bottle with formula. What the fuck's going on in her head? Holy shit. So, and this, of course, is part of the problem. Low IQ people procreating. Low IQ people that don't seem to understand, hey, if you ingest drugs and you're making breast milk, those drugs will get into the breast milk. And maybe just a little 10-pound baby can't really handle those drugs so well. It's so stupid. How dumb are you? So, a Pennsylvania mother whose 11-week-old son died when he drank her breast milk laced with lethal cocktail of drugs. How did she avoid jail? I don't understand. Samantha Jones, 31, pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter under a plea deal that includes 3 years probation and 100 hours of community service. Jesus Christ. That's Jussie Smollett treatment. She's getting a juicy Smollett. That's what we ought to call it now. Every time somebody gets off for something they should have went to jail for, I'm going to call it a Jussie Smollett. Juicy Smollett. He likes to smell juicy bums, so I call him Juicy Smollett. Anyway, yeah. She told police she'd been too tired to make the baby a bottle when he awoke crying at 3 a.m. in the morning. So instead, she just breastfed him. Let me get this straight. You killed your kid because you were tired, i.e. lazy? Painkiller addict. I never understood this. Painkiller. Who's addicted to this stuff? Painkillers, I guess, we're talking narcotics here. You're not going to get addicted to fucking aspirin or Tylenol or some shit. But I never understood that. Why would you get addicted to painkillers? I never understood the appeal of drugs. I've never been a drinker. I've never done drugs in my life. I think I smoked one cigarette when I was a kid. It was horrible. Oh, boy. She told police that she had been prescribed methadone. Methadone? From what I understand, methadone is almost as bad as the heroin that it supposedly replaces. and kills kids. She's taking methadone and then she's breastfeeding? What? Because of an addiction to pain. Addiction. You mean lack of moral character. I'm addicted to painkillers. No. You like how they make you feel. Right? So you take them because you have no moral character and you have no self-control. That's it. Don't give me this addicted crap. This addiction bullshit. It really annoys me. I'm addicted. No, you're just weak. You're just weak. You have no willpower. You have no fucking willpower or ability to control your impulses. That's all. That's all. So, you're lacking character. Okay? That's all. And self-discipline. It's not a matter of addiction. You want to know people use the word addiction? Weak fucking people. I can't stop. No, you don't want to stop. Oh, boy. So, she goes on to say she had taken it during her pregnancy and that she was taking it at the time of the baby's death. Yeah, wouldn't the doctor tell her, hey, don't breastfeed your kid when you're taking this because, it's not good for 10-pound babies who have no tolerance built up over years of being a junkie. Following her sentencing, Jones said, I never wanted this to happen. Debatable. Well, I don't see what it matters anyway. I mean, what do you mean you didn't want it to happen? You said you didn't get a bottle because you were tired. So you must have known that there was a danger involved, or you wouldn't say that you opted to breastfeed because you were too tired to give a bottle. You were giving him a bottle because you obviously knew that there was some danger involved in taking the breast milk. And you wouldn't be telling us why you didn't use a bottle and instead breastfed if you didn't know there was a danger. You wouldn't be making an excuse if you didn't know that you'd done something wrong or that there was a danger involved. So don't tell me that this isn't what you wanted. What a bunch of nonsense. I pulled the trigger on the gun, but I didn't want him to get shot. Knowing that could be a possible consequence. Yeah, that's retarded. I loved my little boy. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And then I love how people say, I love the person I killed. You have no consideration for their welfare. You act in a woefully irresponsible way. And you say you love them. I mean, I look at people's actions. Somebody says something to me, yeah, okay, if it jives with their actions, I believe them. But otherwise, I look at their actions, not words. And this bitch's actions tell me she absolutely did not love her son. And by the way, I bet you that if a little girl had been the victim and not a little boy, she'd be going to jail. She'd be going to jail. There is a bias in the criminal justice system and among mothers, among society in general. Essentially, that has just... It has seeped into the subconscious of all people. And that bias says that boys are worth less. Boys and men are worth less. So when a boy or a man dies, people don't see it as big a loss as if it was a girl. It's true. I love my little boy more than anything, except drugs. That's not true. You didn't love him more than drugs, did you? Because you didn't stop using the dope. And methadone, it's almost as bad as heroin. Yeah, it has the same effects. Has the same effects as the heroin, but supposedly without the negative side effects. You mean the negative side effects that killed the kid? I would call that a negative side effect. It's just state-funded doping of druggies. That's it. Oh, I'm hooked on heroin. Well, we'll get you off heroin by giving you methadone for 30 years at the expense of the state, meaning at the expense of not your fellow taxpayers, because you don't pay taxes. But at the expense of people that actually pay taxes and are productive and who don't kill their kids because they were too tired to make a bottle. Oh, I loved him and I have to live with this every day. And she's going to get back to partying. Now she's got to go get her methadone hit. Yeah. I'm so sad. Where's my methadone? Yeah, you loved your son more than anything. I think not. Defense attorney Louis R. Busico said Jones was strangled with grief and tortured by loss. Well, I guess next time, because she's going to pop out another kid, because she needs that welfare cheddar. Maybe next time you'll give the kid formula instead of your poison breast milk. Her baby named RJ died from a combination of... Oh, there was more than just the methadone. There was much more. By the way, why didn't she get charged with a crime for all these drugs in her system? I mean, there's more than methadone. A combination of methadone, amphetamines, and methamphetamines. That's a horse cocktail. Holy shit. Why isn't she in prison? There's tons of crimes you could charge this broad for. Well, she's got a pussy, so we got to give her a pass. Yeah. Certainly her conduct was grossly negligent. You think? She had resources. There were bottles in the house, and there were other adults in the house. But she couldn't be bothered. I can't be bothered. I'm a drug addict. That's my excuse for everything. According to the affidavit, Jones told police she'd been too tired. Yeah, I already read that. There's a bunch of repetition in this fucking thing. Few hours after he was fed, the baby was pale. Yeah, the baby was pale and had bloody mucus, oh God, coming from his nose, she told police. Jones's mother began CPR. Probably crushed the kid. These dopey mouth-breathing morons don't know you're just supposed to use your thumb and a little pressure. At the instruction of the dispatcher after they called 911, the affidavit said police arrived at the home in New Britain, about 35 miles north of Philadelphia, to find the baby in cardiac arrest. Imagine that. Methadone, methamphetamines, amphetamines. Oh, yeah, that's good for a growing child. Make you strong if you live. Make you a drug addict, too. I bet the kid was a druggie, maybe. I don't know. Apparently, his tolerance for methadone, even after getting it 9 months in the womb, wasn't quite as high as mommy's. Although I don't think they would give it to her while she was pregnant. That's funded by the state, that methadone crap. But, you know, she was taking other painkillers. The kid was probably born addicted to that shit. But again, not as high a tolerance as mama. The baby ain't quite as big either. So high tolerance or not, 10-pound baby. You're not going to be able to take that cocktail. Other parents have faced charges over drug-laced breast milk in recent years. In 2016, 2 former Arizona TV news reporters were sentenced to a year of probation. What is it with this lack of consideration for babies dying? What is this? It seems like this leftist liberal society we live in right now has no consideration for kids. You killed your kid. A year of probation. You murdered your kid. You might as well have. Poisoned him with your tainted breast milk. 3 years probation. No jail time. And a suspended 30-day jail term after cocaine was found in their baby system. Isn't cocaine like a class one? I mean, isn't that like at the top, the dippy-dippy-dap of illegal drugs? Shouldn't they be getting 10 years in prison alone just for that? And in 2012, a California woman whose infant son died after... These are all boys. These were all boys. All these boys dying, and all the Waymen that killed them are getting lenient sentences. They're not showing me any examples of girls being killed by mommies and getting lenient sentences, because, of course, they wouldn't, because society sees girls as having more value. A California woman whose infant son died after ingesting methamphetamine-laced breast milk was sentenced to 6 years in prison. Same thing as this woman. But this woman had even more drugs in her system, but she got no jail time. It's crazy. These stories just hit me like a fucking jackhammer, man. I mean... Again, maybe those of you out there listening have been so inundated and desensitized to this craziness that it just seems like, normal shit. This is not normal, okay? It is not normal at all. All right, let's move on. This next story is bizarre. It has to do with the continuing efforts by the left and academia to turn kids gay. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with sucking cock. There's nothing wrong with being with another man. Give it a try. You might like it. Listen to this shit. Arthur's teacher, Mr. Ratburn, is gay and finally got married. So I had to look this up, as I don't know who this Mr. Ratburn is. Apparently he's some big giant talking rat in some other universe, dimension, reality, where rats can walk and talk and they're human sized and they teach English or whatever. Yeah. Essentially a Disney movie with talking animals, except they're homosexuals and openly gay at that. So here's this Mr. Ratburn. I didn't know who this was until recently. Apparently it's a kid's show or something. So there we are. It's disturbing. It's 2 gay rats. Now the one on the left don't look like a rat to me, but the one on the right looks like a rat. The one on the left that's winking, that's disturbing. I'm thinking of a pedo when I look at this picture. Hey, kitties! It's so freaky. And of course the reporter thinks this is too freaking cute. I think the person that wrote this is gay. Queer representation in children's animation has been getting better and better as the years go by. Yeah, because that's just what you need. We need more homos in our anime and animated shorts and on animated TV shows, yeah. And while it's nice to see so many new, inclusive titles premiering on so many networks, we wish some of our old school faves would also introduce queer characters as well. No. Like, can you imagine King of the Hill? The guy that played the father comes out gay. That'd be so crazy. Or Homer Simpson comes out as a homo. Oh boy, that's, yeah. Well, it looks like Arthur might have just heard our prayers. The long-running PBS kids series. PBS, Public Broadcast Station. So isn't that tax-funded? Isn't that taxpayer-funded? What the fuck? I thought that was funded by taxpayers, or it's funded by taxpayers and donations. Or is it? I don't think it's just donation-based. I mean, if it's donation-based and it's going in this degenerate, leftist, homo direction, ain't too many people contributing. I mean, leftists, they don't give to charity, okay? So it's got to be getting funded by a lot of taxpayer money. I believe it does. What the hell is it doing pushing any agenda? Certainly a degenerate one that's less than 1% of the population, which has been airing since 1996, just confirmed that Mr. Nigel Ratburn, R-A-T-B-U-R-N, Ratburn, B-U-R-N, burn. What the hell does his name have the word burn in it? Probably because of the carpet burns all over his knees, because he's getting it from behind from his boyfriend. I have carpet burns! Arthur Reed's cake-loving third-grade Lakewood elementary school teacher is queer. Queer? I thought it was gay. When I was a young guy, gay and queer and homo and fag and fairy, they all meant the same thing, essentially. They all had the same meaning. They were all synonymous. Now we got all these terms being used differently. What is queer? Is queer, is that bi? Is that bi? I don't know what that is now. They changed the meaning of it. Queer to me means you're gay. I don't know why. Of course, I can remember a time when gay meant happy. So, yeah, I'm a fucking old dude, so don't listen to anything I have to say in that regard. I'm not familiar with all this new nomenclature. Queer doesn't mean gay. It means something else. It means bi, but you're female presenting and yeah, whatever. Whatever, freak. Whatever you want. I don't want any part of it. All right, so, yeah, he's queer. In the new episode, Mr. Ratburn and the special someone, viewers finally get to see Mr. Ratburn marry his husband. Yeah, that's right, people. PBS, public broadcasting, is pushing homosexuality on your kids. It's not enough that they have the drag queen story hour, the tranny story hour. Now we've got long-running fucking 22-year-old fucking animated TV shows for kids now pushing this. What's next? Sesame Street? Bert and Ernie are gay? Well, they might actually be. The Cookie Monster's gay? Big Bird's gay? What's next? What else are you going to destroy? Yeah. And it's literally the cutest thing ever. Yeah, you think that because you're gay. You think that because you're a homo. I don't think it's cute. I think it's degeneracy. Degenerate. You want to be a degenerate, that's your business, okay? You want to be a degenerate. You want to get down and dirty with other dudes and dudettes in your own house and you're all consenting adults. Be my guest. But keep it away from kids. Keep it away from my kids if I had kids. If I had kids, I want you to keep it away from them. You keep it away from other people's kids, okay? Kids are very, very impressionable. That's why we've seen this huge spike of confused people cutting off their schlongs when they hit 18. And these confused little kids. And these confused parents who are letting them go trans and take hormone blockers and destroy their ability to have kids or the ability to actually be a man. Well, your testicles are going to be the size of raisins forever because you were confused because you watched this fucking show when you were 5 years old and you got the idea that you could be a woman even though you're a man. And now your life is over because these people push this garbage on impressionable kids. Yeah. It's very easy to confuse kids. That's why that's something you don't want to do, okay? You want to give them as normal and traditional and mainstream in upbringing as fucking possible. And then when they hit whatever age, 18, 20, 25, go buck wild. If you still want to bang dudes or be a dudette, be my guest. Be my guest. But until then, kids should not be encouraged in this degeneracy, nor should parents be pushing it. Turn off this fucking show. You got people signing petitions to get rid of, get Game of Thrones, this last season remade, which isn't going to happen, by the way. Wake up, people. Wake up. That show has a feminist agenda, okay? The showrunners are rabid, anti-white, anti-male feminists, okay? That's why the show sucks so much this season. They saw their opportunity to indulge in their activism. Don't expect that show to get remade, okay? But all these people focusing on that when you've got this degeneracy happening on PBS. While current Arthur viewers are probably a little too young for Twitter, when OG fans, I've never heard of this piece of crap, who grew up with Arthur in the 90s and 2000s, I grew up in the late 60s and early 70s. I don't know what this crap is. I remember the Munsters and fucking the Addams Family, okay? And found out Mr. Ratburn's new husband, they rightly freaked out. Oh boy, Mr. Ratburn's husband. Fuck you. You degenerate scum. You filth you, okay? Filth. Look, 99.5% plus, 99.6%, 99.7% of people are not actually homos, okay? They're not actually homos. I realize you want to confuse these kids and turn their heads around and spin them around, and they don't know what's left, what's right, where to go. They're lost. They're completely lost. And then you become their guide, and then you lead them in life, and you become their masters, and then you program them, and you've got some new useful idiots, okay? Yeah, I know that's what you want. And then you can weaponize these useful idiots for your own activism to change the world into this wonderful new global utopia of equality. Yeah, but that's what it is. It's an evil push, this degeneracy, this global homo agenda here. That's what this is. Winking rat. Yeah, I'm a gay teacher. Fuck off with this crap. It's so crazy. It turns out he's gay. Was Big Bird gay too? Such nutty shit. Oh my God, I'm gonna move on. Gotta move on. But yeah, stop. Have your kids stop watching PBS, okay? If you got kids and they're watching this, turn it off. As it turns out, Mr. Ratburn is gay. And now that we found that out, he's probably going to be showcasing that gayness in future episodes. His husband's going to show up. He's going to be talking about how to have anal sex with your partner if you're a dude. How you can be a pitcher and a catcher and still have fun. Oh, man. Here's how you lube it up. Here's how you do an enema. Because, you don't want dirty anal. Teaching this to 5-year-olds. Mr. Ratburn is going to be teaching that in his next class. Pass! All right. Let's get this degeneracy off the screen. Okay. Moving on. All right. This next story is also crazy. I shouldn't have to say that. Again, this is crazy shit episode. This is nutty shit. So a cruel end to a man with Down syndrome, age 61, who died after, get this, after the hospital he was in left him without food for 19 days. And he suffered a cruel and horrific end, says his sister. I told you this was some crazy shit. Level 10 shit. How? And by the way, this is in the UK. Obviously. So, social medicine. Universal healthcare at its best. A man with Down syndrome who died in hospital after staff failed to feed him properly for 19 days was let down by the people who were supposed to look after him, his sister said. Giuseppe Uleri, known as Joe, died just days after his family warned staff at Manchester Royal Infirmary that his condition was deteriorating due to lack of food, failure to provide nutrition, and treating him while on his back contributed to his death, a jury at Manchester Coroner's Court found last month. The trust that runs the hospital admitted its care fell below our standards. Well, yeah. I mean, I would hope letting people die because you didn't feed them for 19 days was not your normal standards. I would hope that wasn't the status quo. Now his younger sibling, Rhea, age 48. Now, okay, let's get a look at this guy. All right, so Down syndrome dude. All right, pick one. Retard one. Okay. He's just crazy. All right, so there he is. Yes, Mr. Joe? Joe, what the fuck? Joe, yeah, Joe. Okay, there he is blowing out candles. Well, a candle. Really? One candle? 61-year-old guy. You could. I mean, I wouldn't expect you to spring for 61 fucking candles, but couldn't you have at least got a candle that said 61? That was shaped like 61. I remember when I was a kid, my lazy-ass fucking parents, they couldn't be bothered to put 12 candles on a cake, so, they just got one candle, a big giant candle that said 12, and, just had blow out one candle because they were lazy fucks. They were so lazy, in fact, that eventually, because me and my brother's birthdays were a week apart, they started having our birthdays on the same day, and guess whose fucking birthday it was? Mine! Yeah, I gotta share my birthday with my brother. Oh, that's great. They were assholes. Wow, that's just so lazy. Just so fucking lazy. I guess taking care of a guy with Down syndrome is so much work. Yeah, I can imagine they would be somewhat tired and not want to have to spring for a special candle. Or, God forbid, 61 of them. Fuck, that's a forest fire. Anyway, yeah, that's crazy. Unbelievably crazy. She told the Daily Mail, all through Joe's life, we had fought for him to be included and treated with respect. Yet at the very end, he was failed by the people who were supposed to look after him. She added, Joe is a sweet and funny man, needed support. Yeah. Joe is the eldest of 4 children. He had been admitted to the hospital after suffering a fall on February 26th at a care home where he was living in Withington, Manchester. Care home? Huh. Yeah, I guess I can't blame the family. I mean, special needs people like this guy, depending on how functional they are, it's a lot of work. It could take up your entire life, so I can't necessarily blame. Oh, and by the way, his parents are probably dead, too. The guy is 61. He had fractures in his right hip and right wrist, as well as the vertebrae in his neck. Coroner said his condition meant he had difficulty communicating and looking after himself. For medical reasons, he was made nil by mouth and had a feeding tube inserted March 9th, but it was removed the day after as he found it uncomfortable. Oh, well, you'll find it uncomfortable to eat through a tube. We just won't feed you at all or give you an IV or anything. It's uncomfortable. I bet he's really uncomfortable now in the ground. Oh, my God. By the way, I mean, so what? You're uncomfortable. Deal with it. It's better than starving to death. Fucking allergies. All right. He's uncomfortable. Ay. She said he had long periods with no nutritional support. Yeah, I gather that. He died from starvation. For a long time, the only nutrition he had was when the tube was in place, and then when they took the tube out, no IVs, no nothing, because, we're a socialist hospital. No profit, no motivation, because we have no competition. There's no real incentives for us to actually try to do our jobs in any quality manner, so, if people don't eat, they don't eat. No skin off our nose. I'm not going to lose my job. It doesn't matter what I do. Yeah, that's great. Government health care at its finest. Yeah. So, a thin feeding tube on March 18th was inserted into his stomach through the skin, but he was too weak to survive that operation. Yeah, we're starving for 19 days, and we'll try to cut him open to save him. And we're surprised he's too weak after almost 3 weeks of not eating to survive the operation. His weight had dropped from 8 to 6 stone, the inquest heard. The jury at the inquest returned a narrative verdict. I don't know what that means. They said during his stay in hospital, there was a failure in his overall care, specifically nursing him in a supine position and a failure to provide failure to provide adequate nutrition. This constituted neglect. Nah, really? No shit. He contracted aspiration pneumonia and passed away March 20th. The failures in care contributed to his death. Yeah. You don't feed your fucking patient for like 20 days. Yeah, that's negligence. Yeah, no shit. Let's see another picture of this poor guy. Can I get it up? Yeah. Oh, before and after. Wow, he don't look too good. He already looks dead. Oh, holy shit. Wow. Wow, that's not good. Yeah, that's bad, right? Wow. What the fuck? Ah, shite. Something's wrong here. Now I can't click it off. What the hell? All right. Okay. All right, let's close these pics out. There's some disturbing stuff, eh? Yeah, very fucking disturbing. Wow. Just wow. Poor guy. How do you not feed your patient for 20 fucking days? How does that happen? I mean, what's going on here? What are these nurses doing all fucking day? Playing Candy Crunch on their fucking phones and texting? What the hell? See, this is one of the major problems with this universal healthcare bullshit. Essentially, what you get is a total lack of quality. No competition. Working for the government. I really don't have to worry about being fired. There's no quality control because, no profits. Not going to lose anything if I do a bad job. So why even try? They saw this in the Soviet Union, too. I remember when John Stossel used to be doing his show on 2020 before the Iron Curtain fell. He's an old fuck, older than me. I think he's pushing 80. And he went there and immediately got approached. This was before, communism collapsed there. And he was wearing a pair of Nikes, used Nikes, and he got offered like $200 American for them. Because the black market there is like, so rarefied. Just a pair of fucking Nikes, he could get a bundle for a used pair. And this was back in like the mid-1980s. Oh, I like your Nikes. Are you American? Yeah. I give you $200 for your Nikes. They're used. Oh, I give you $300. Fucking A. Yeah, right. And I remember he went to some restaurants. Everything was state-owned, so he ended up like waiting 2 hours for a meal, and there was like nobody in there. All the waiters were standing around doing nothing. He had to wait an hour just to get waited on. Can you wait on me, please? They're like, fuck off. We're not making any money, Pinhead. We're not waiting on you until we feel good and ready. Every restaurant he went in, it was the same fucking thing. Nobody cared. I work for the state. I can't be fired. My business isn't reliant on profit or doing a good job. My business is reliant on the state giving me money. I'm Bernie Sanders. I had my honeymoon in Russia. Yeah, boy. Yeah. But I'm not a commie. I'm a democratic socialist. I just put the democratic in there to hide the fact that I'm really a commie. Yeah. We know, Bernie. We know how you leftists like to play with words to manipulate the perceptions of others. So, yeah. Speaking after the inquest, Joe's family said his case needed to act as a catalyst for change. How about privatized health care? No more single payer. Nah, can't have that. UK is a fucking country of leeches and welfare parasites. And single mommies. No, they don't want the welfare state to go bye-bye. In a statement, they said, our brother was the kindest and gentlest soul, yet he was allowed to die in the most horrendous way. He couldn't talk? I mean, I know he had Down syndrome and shit, but he could speak, right? Couldn't he say, I'm hungry? I'm hungry? Give me some food? He's hooking IV up to me. Put some Campbell's in a big IV bag and give me a big bore fucking needle. I'll settle for that. You can pump me full of Campbell's soup. Whatever. No, we can't do that. We got to let you die. We got to ignore you for 19 days. It's crazy. It's almost like the kind of healthcare you would get in the Soviet Union or fucking Cuba or something. Oh, well, yeah. Or Venezuela. Actually, it's not far off. It's the same exact kind of system. Yeah, it's better because it's propped up by, capitalism and an actual free market economy. I love how these idiots run around. Look, socialism works. UK has socialism. The Nordic countries have socialism. No, pinheads, they have some social programs, but that's not fucking socialism, because socialism is the government controlling the ways and means of production. You pinhead, you. These social programs are aspects of a socialist system, but these countries are not 100% socialist. They're markets. They're a free market economy, okay? That's the only reason that they can fund these systems. And by the way, these systems, like the fucking universal healthcare system in the UK, are crap. They're crap and inefficient. Yeah, free. Idiots. So in a statement, they said, not only was he thoroughly neglected, he was starved for 19 days. Yeah, we got it. We got it. His death was entirely preventable and came as a result of catastrophic failures. Catastrophic failures from the Manchester Royal Infirmary. I really don't see how something like this happens. I mean, how does he not get fed for 19 days? I don't understand. The care provided to Joe fell below our standards, and for this we apologize sincerely. You ought to be getting down on your hands and knees and kissing their feet and begging their forgiveness. We apologize. Yeah, you killed somebody and you apologize. Wow, that's just so underwhelming. Oh, my Lord. Kooky shit. So crazy. All right. Let's move on. Yeah, National Health Service, NHS. Well, yeah, definitely not going to... If I ever visit the UK, I'm going to make sure to never get injured or hurt or anything, because they'll probably kill you if you get admitted into one of their hospitals. We love our NHS, our free boob jobs and everything. Oh, it's so great. Yeah. Until you have an actual problem that could kill you, then don't go to a hospital in the UK. All right, moving on. Blasphemy laws. Oh, boy. Oh, my God. In the UK. Yet more UK craziness. Boy, isn't it great that we kicked off the yoke of tyranny of the British? Talk about regressive motherfuckers. So, hate crime investigation over a joke prayer to Alladin in a Muslim prayer room. So crazy. Police are investigating a man pretending to pray to Alladin as a joke in a Muslim prayer room as a hate crime. Oh, yeah. There's rapes going on. There's rape gangs roving around the countryside and through the cities, and there's a record number of stabbings in London. But our biggest concern is some dude making some joke because comedy bad. Yeah. Video shows a man in what is thought to be a prayer room of Royal Bolton Hospital, kneeling on a prayer mat and chanting, Alladin, take me away, and imitating Arabic, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, so while another person recording the performance laughs in the background. So comedy's off limits, right? You've seen this with Count Dankula and his little, pug. Zigel! The pug goes. He taught the dog to do a Nazi salute. Yeah, off limits. Yeah. And you get that Carl Benjamin, was it Sargon dude? Yeah, he makes a joke about that horrific British politician broad laughing at male suicide. So she laughs at men killing themselves. But he gets dragged through the mud because he made a joke about not wanting to rape her. What's the problem? So comedy's not allowed, apparently, in the UK, which isn't surprising. I haven't seen anything funny come out of that country since Benny Hill. Benny Hill was some good shit, by the way. Anybody out there a fan of Benny Hill? I remember watching that show. There were the Benny Hill girls. Benny Hill's show was well known for having a lot of scantily clad women in it, which was part of why I watched. It was kind of funny. I mean, I doubt I would find it funny now. My tastes as far as humor have changed over time. I don't think I'd be so amused these days, but back then, oh baby, those scantily clad broads and that risque content. Well, risque if you're a young man, but yeah, anyway. Early 80s humor. Yeah, there ain't been anything funny to come out of that country since Benny fucking Hill. Video shows a man, Alladin, take me away. So what? I guess it could be funny if you were there. I mean, if you don't think it's funny, don't watch. It's like people are choosing to get offended. They're choosing to get butthurt. So a woman who had previously prayed in the room reportedly recognized it, saying, I was there yesterday around 6 for afternoon prayer. So she's a Muslim. That's why she has a problem with it. When I recognized the carpets and information on the wall, I realized I was just in there. Oh, well, you got to do something now. Yeah, you got to be a social justice warrior. But instead of enacting social justice, by trying to find out who these people are and taking still photos of their faces and putting it online and saying, help me find these people, help me find them so we can shame them and get them fired, instead you called the police. Oh, okay. And she's probably going to do both. Probably going to try and find them and get them fired and arrested. She added, I couldn't believe it. I found it really disrespectful. You're a Muslim, of course you did. Like when you have been burgled. Yeah, because somebody making fun of your religion and having your house broken into and being robbed, they're equivalent. No, nothing hyperbolic about that statement. The feeling afterwards like you've been violated. You were snowflake. Okay? You don't like it, go back to your home country. Huh? Go back to wherever you're from, refugee. Huh? You don't like it? God. Anyone is welcome to come in there, but they should respect it. Well, if anyone's welcome, then it's not a Muslim prayer room. Then it's a multi-purpose prayer room, and so Christians could be in there as well. I honestly the problem. And by the way, who's complaining when people make fun of Christians? Hey, Muslims running all over the place in the UK talking about death to Christians, chop their heads off. Christians are evil. We hate Christians. You got no-go zones if you're Christian, meaning white. If you just have white skin and you try to go through those no-go zones, they'll harass you and beat you up. But the police don't do anything about that. The same woman pointed out that the man was wearing shoes and touching holy text in the video, which is forbidden in Islam. He's not Muslim. He's not Muslim. This is the cultural enrichment I'm talking about. Cultures that cannot coexist. Okay? We're not Muslim. We're not going to follow your rules. So what do? You kill us. You commit terrorist acts. You intimidate. You threaten. You try to essentially gain control. Like you got Sadiq Khan, douchebag, that subversive piece of crap, running London now. And what happened? You got more murders than New York, but there's no guns. You got the Metropolitan Police collecting spoons and butter knives because they're such a threat. Well, maybe somebody could file it down into a real knife. Same for the spoon. What are we going to eat with? What is it next? Forks? Well, what are you going to ban next? Forks? And spoons now. They're grabbing spoons. They're confiscating spoons from people. Yeah. Well, we can coexist with these people. Yeah, right. What do you think's going to happen when these people get to be a majority in the country, huh? Well, what do you think's going to happen? And it's not going to take much because there's more than two parties in Britain, you do understand. There's multiple parties, okay? So, you don't need a 51%. You don't need 51% of the population like you do in a primarily two-party system to get a majority. They could get a majority with 25, 30%, maybe even less. What happens? What's going to happen in Britain when they get an overwhelming majority and these people, by and large, vote along theological lines? They vote along ideological lines. They vote along religious, racial lines. They all vote the same fucking way. What's going to happen? Well, Whitey's going to be voted out of power, the Muslims will take control of all of Britain, and then you're all fucked. And then, if you make a joke like this, when that happens, off with your head. Oh, but that's not a problem. Imtiyaz Ali, representing the Bolton Council of Mosques, told Bolton News, it's a place of worship, kindly provided by the hospital for all faiths. Wait, it's kindly provided for all faiths? Yet you're making an issue of them wearing shoes there? See, there's another thing. They take over. They come in. Oh, it's not just for all faiths. It's for our faith. God damn it. You don't like it. Get the fuck out. Take your shoes off. Don't you dare touch those texts. And make any jokes. If you make jokes, we'll kill you. Yeah, it's for all faiths, but not really. And if it's for all faiths, by the way, then what's the problem? I don't see the problem. No comedy allowed in Islam, unless it's about Christians, of course. And, of course, the Christians not being a bunch of candy-ass pansy wimps like these Muslims, they don't get offended, right? They have the I don't give a fuck mindset. The fuck do I care? You want to make fun of me? You want to make fun of my beliefs? Go right ahead. I'm not insecure like these people. Now it's clearly a police matter. Clearly? You say that as if it's a given. I love it. Somebody makes a joke in a mosque that one person heard that was there, and suddenly it's a police matter. Yeah. The anarcho-tyranny that I was talking about, that I've talked about before, essentially the left, the government itself in a Western country, any country, they'll ignore real crimes going on to cow and frighten the predominant and essentially the majority population, but they will investigate and put all their time into investigating any crimes against the minority who are their useful idiots imported into the country to bring about change, governmentally, socially. Ay, ay, ay. Look at this. The gobs of police matter, and we should deal with it robustly. The chief inspector said of the incident, those who think they can hide behind a keyboard and disseminate this kind of harmful material should expect to be investigated. Harmful to who? Harmful to who? Not harmful to me. Harmful to Muslims. Our useful idiots who we imported to essentially break the chains of control that Whitey has on the UK country. We're going to empower them. We're going to ignore any crimes that the Muslims commit. And we're going to investigate every single solitary harsh word said by Whitey about the Muslims. Okay? Yeah, hate crime. I don't know what that means. What does that mean, hate crime? I don't like you, so that's a crime? I'm not allowed to hate people? Isn't that the benchmark of freedom? I mean, you don't have love crimes, right? Well, apparently those exist as well. That's another topic for another time. Hate crime. I don't know what that is, hate crime. I make a joke, that's a hate crime? Right, they don't have freedom of speech. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. London Mayor Sadiq Khan and the Metropolitan Police are among those who take hate crime and hate incidences incredibly seriously. But apparently they don't take all those knifings very seriously. If they did, they wouldn't be happening so much. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, somebody made a joke, an Alladin joke, in a multicultural prayer room. It wasn't even a Muslim prayer room, okay? So by this writer's own words, it was for all face. So there were probably crosses in there and, the little fucking Star of David too. Probably Bibles as well and, the Torah and everything. But, no! It's really for Muslims, right? Because, they get all of the consideration. And they're the only ones that have blasphemy laws. This is great. You can blaspheme Christians perfectly okay because they're evil. And they killed too many people. Evil colonizers. Really? The enemy countries that Muslims have colonized since the 7th, 8th century, every country that they're in now wasn't Muslim before and now is. They conquered the entire Middle East. Oh, but we're the evil colonizers. Yeah. We're the evil slavers. Yeah. How many black slaves did Muslims kill over the past 1,000 years? Like 100 million Africans? Oh, my God. But Whitey's evil. Yeah. And these are the people that you think are, poor oppressed victims. We need to bring more of them into the country because we destroyed their countries. Yeah, what a lie. Well, what a bunch of crap. They destroyed their own countries, okay? Don't give me this crap. I'm not responsible for these people destroying their own countries, okay? Yeah, theocratic governments work so well. Yeah, no freedom. Women, their word is worth half that of a man. Everything is rigorously and strenuously controlled by a theocratic council of just a few guys who are all religious zealots that don't know anything about politics, don't know anything about free markets or economics or anything. Government, whatever. Nah, we're just going to rule with an iron fist. So our country sucks. But that's Whitey's fault. Yeah, okay. All right. So despite police cutbacks and a report last year that the Met were planning on not investigating thousands of low-level crimes such as vandalism and assaults with only non-serious injuries, police policy dictates that all hate crimes must be investigated. Right. Of course. You have to frighten and cow your local population, okay? And make them terrified to speak out or stand up to authority in any way, shape, or form. And at the same time, empower these useful idiots that you've brought into the country. All right? This small minority that is becoming an ever larger minority who will eventually be a majority when it comes to voting, and they'll all vote in the same way. And eventually, these useful idiots of yours will be able to outvote the native population, who you want to control, but it's kind of difficult to control them because, they're very self-sufficient and they have markedly high IQs on average. It's very difficult to make these people, dependent on the state. So we need to bring all these low IQ morons in to displace them, and we can control them. Yeah. So-called non-crime hate incidents in which a person is offended or believes they have been unfairly targeted, but no crime has been proven to have taken place, are also increasingly a part of policing. Nanny state Estimates are that police spend thousands of hours reviewing these hate incidences, despite a huge increase in violent crime and a reduction in the number of police available to deal with it. Yeah, because they were all running around. Oh, you made an Alladin video in a multicultural prayer room, you evil son of a bitch. Among previous incidences recorded were complaints that a man's dog barking was racist, and another in which a woman had been told online that she resembled the cartoon character Peter Griffin from Family Guy. Police are investigating every single one of these complaints. So what do you think is going to happen? Somebody you don't like insults you, says something you don't like. What do? You call the cops. Who's going to get empowered by this, right? Leftists, snowflakes, useful idiots, people that want power, right? People who are willing to give up the autonomy, if they ever had any, and control of self to the state in exchange for that state power. Useful idiots, right? People who are dependent on and need the state to come to their defense. These are the people they want. These are the people that make the best useful idiots. The people that would report this kind of shit as a crime. Unbelievable. Another instance of a hate incident being pursued includes a man who was investigated in January for retweeting a supposedly transphobic limerick. I remember that. The man who took to Twitter to tell his followers about the incident, saying that a police officer had contacted him and read him the limerick over the phone. I said I didn't write that. He said, but you liked it and promoted it. I thought that the police's job was to investigate crimes. If this stuff isn't a crime, why are they even involved? It's to cow you. It's to frighten you. It's to shut you up. Don't talk ill of our useful, idiot, social reconstructivists that we brought into the country to push our agenda. Don't talk ill of them. Don't challenge them. And we're not going to investigate any crimes that they commit, but we're going to investigate your evil, horrible, hateful words to cow you into submission. Meanwhile, they're on a rampage, raping and robbing and stabbing people, and we're not investigating that. No, we're just investigating hate words, hate speech. Yeah. Don't interfere with or say anything negative about our useful idiot army that we're importing into the country, who are totally, completely dependent on the state and will do whatever we want and will ignore all their actions to cow you. Things that we can't do directly. But when they do it, we won't investigate. Like at Portland with that fucking leftist mayor letting Antifa run amok. This is really funny. And by the way, something you don't realize just how bad this is. UK police screen out nearly half of crime reports. Let me repeat this. If you don't comprehend how big a number. UK police screen out almost 50% of all crimes that are reported. Not just minor incidences, all fucking crimes. They screen them out. We don't need to investigate this. Oh, somebody got his house burgled. Does he have a picture of the person? Does he have security footage? Nah, too difficult to investigate. We are devoting too much time to investigating people being called fat or made fun of on Twitter. We don't have time to investigate this crime. Next. Nah, screen it. What do they mean by screening out? Choosing not to investigate actual crimes in favor of social reconstructivism through useful idiots. And their crimes get ignored because that's why you brought them in. To create chaos and havoc. And to cow your own local population because, well, if you did it, there might actually be an uprising. So you do it through the useful idiots, the Muslims, and the other so-called oppressed people. Meanwhile, you say anything bad against them, whoosh, the state comes down on you like a jackhammer. All right. But they're allowed to say and do whatever they want and get away with it. Yeah. Nearly half of all crimes are just, not going to investigate it. But all hate incidences are investigated. I tell you, if you're living in the UK, you should be fucking concerned. You should be real fucking concerned because you are on the path to pure socialism, communism. You're much further along the path than we are in America, okay? We at least have protections such as the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, okay? You guys, not so much. when you have cops confiscating spoons and butter knives. And also making you totally unable to defend yourself. Meanwhile, those criminals that they don't investigate, they don't seem to have too much trouble getting a hold of weapons. And that includes guns and knives. Meanwhile, they're taking away any weapon you might have or anything that can be made into a weapon. But hey, there's no problem in the UK, right? This is some crazy shit, man. I told you. There's a reason that I call this show Crazy Shit. And I think that's going to be it for this episode. 0 drop frames. Excellent. So let me know what you think in the comments section. And please like and subscribe to this channel. I'm also thinking about hit the mic. I'm also thinking about starting a new channel where I'm just going to devote the entire channel to giving advice to men and women on how to heal the gaping wound that is the chasm between men and women. Advice on relationships to both men and women. How to straighten up, get in shape, mostly for women. But also some advice for men and commentary that's purely and solely relationship based. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I think that's going to be a good channel. So I'll post a link to that on Twitter and Facebook once I get that up and going. And you can find me on Facebook, Magus Reason. All the text is missing because something fucking happened to my goddamn live streaming software. I don't know what. It said it closed prematurely the last time you closed it. And then I reopened it and all my settings were gone. So, but I'm on Facebook, Magus Reason, and Twitter, The Realist 1967. So you want to follow me there. I always post links and updates whenever I put up new content. And if you'd like to donate, you'll find links to my Patreons in the description. Also, I have a Subscribestar account that only took 4 months to get verified. Yeah, they're so efficient there. Oh, boy. So once I get that straightened out, you'll be able to donate on Subscribestar. And you might not want to donate to Patreon. A lot of people hate them because of their censorship. I can't honestly blame you. So once I get the Subscribestar up, I'll let you all know. But yeah, you can also donate by going to therealistphilosopher.com/donate and finding links there for my 2 Patreons. One Patreon is a per content piece, which I post 3 of a week, and one is just for one single donation per month, kind of like a subscription. So it's up to you how much you donate. If you use my content, if you watch my content regularly, if you can afford to donate, please do. $1 a month can go a long way. If you can afford a couple bucks, kick me a little bit if you can. I would really appreciate it. And that's it. It's Friday, so I will see you again on Monday, and I will post a countdown timer, essentially counting down to my next show, so you have a good exact idea of when the next show will be. And also, if you'd like to be on the show, or you have a specific subject you'd like me to talk about, there's my email in the upper right-hand corner, admin@therealistphilosopher.com. Send me a subject, or if you want to be on the show directly, send me an email about what you'd like to talk about, whatever issue it is you might be dealing with, be it a relationship issue, business issue, family issue, whatever. Get my take on it during the show. Just send me an email, and I'll get back to you shortly. All righty, y'all. That's all she wrote for this week. I will see you next week. Take care, everybody. Have a good day or night, depending on where you are. Bye-bye.